When you think about video game intros, what comes to mind? Well, whatever you think about or whatever comes to mind, for you to remember it had to be good, right? Or really bad. Anyways, this question has been floating through my head lately, so I thought I'd compile a list of some of my favorite video game intros of all time and do a bit of a breakdown and why they work. But before we get into this list, this video is more casual than others and is the first episode of Casual Mondays, a new series of more laid-back analysis videos and breakdowns of content that ranges from a wide variety of topics, so let me know what you think of this idea. I also hope in the future to have some collaborations to get some differing points of views on the channel, as well as get your opinions on the future. I might even do a part 2 of this with all of your opinions on the best video game intros, so let me know.
To my brother Riley for getting his pilot's license. Where the hell is that motherfucker?
To my father's black card, to my black card. Woo!
God, I haven't done Sambuca since I was 20 years old. Yeah! I'm the king of the world! Go. Did he fucking pass out? Hold the door! Yo, Jason, get in! Get in! They're crazy, Jay! I learned from the best! Yeah!
Now, how could I not mention this one? It would be criminal if I didn't, in my opinion anyways. So here it is. On to the next. Okay, I guess I should probably give a reason for this, hey? Well, Far Cry 3 has one of the best intros in video game history and arguably one of the greatest video games ever made. This intro is fast-paced, the song Paper Planes playing in the background is also a great foreshadowing for what the game has in store for you, which is a lot of gunshots. You get to see all of the main characters interacting with each other in a small sequence with a little bit of dialogue here and there to kind of give you an idea of their personalities. And then we get one of the most seamless transitions into our main character Jason and his brother Grant, tied up in a cage being tormented by Voss, one of the most unhinged villains which can be seen with the way he talks.
Jason, what is it? Why aren't you laughing now like you did up there? What, is this not fun anymore? Have I failed to entertain you? You see, the thing is, up there, you thought you had a chance. Way up in the fucking skies, you thought you had your finger on the pussy trigger. But hermano, down here, down here. You hit the ground. It's okay. I'm gonna chill, I'm gonna relax because you, Wah, and your tough guy brother, we're gonna have a lot of fun together while we wait for the money.
You then quickly watch your brother escape and escort you to safety. It is also made clear that he's an ex-Marine, so that's why he's so good at the things he does. Grant immediately grows on you with how much of a badass he is and how protective and comforting he is as a brother and also his presence as a player. You can also witness Voss taking out hostages within the village while trying to escape, adding to his presence and his intimidating factor. It's kind of a good starting point for the character as well because he's kind of helpless and he's kind of watching his brother do these things, and his brother's the one who teaches him techniques like throwing a rock to distract and how to stay low and whatnot. It may be simple stuff, sure, but it's key features of the game, and it's good to know that although Jason does some outlandish things throughout his time on the island, at least there's some basis for where he learnt some of the stuff he's done. Where this section does come undone is when the brothers make it outside and proceed to just stand outside the wall looking at a map, which I'm not a Marine, but maybe you want to get as far away as possible before doing that.
Where are we? I never should have made that jump alone. I promised Dad I'd take care of you two.
Does it say where Riley is?
We're gonna find him, we're gonna free the others, and then we're going home.
No! Stay with me, Grant! Please, don't die! Hold on, Grant, hold on! Oh, God. No! Grant! Grant!
I like that. No, I respect that. I'm gonna give you 30 seconds. And if this jungle doesn't eat you up alive, I will. Fucking tough! I said get the fuck out of here, you chicken fuck! Run, Forrest! Run!
Anyways, while looking at the map, you watch your protector, Grant, get shot through the throat by Vars, and you can try to stop at the bleeding, but there's nothing that you can really do. And while you focus on your brother, Vars is screaming at you in the background. It's great use of storytelling, giving you a protective figure who gets you out of a dangerous situation for him to then eventually die, showing that although he was kind of a badass, he is still vulnerable to bullets, which Jason, as it goes on, kind of seems like he isn't, but you know, Jason's special. Vars tells you to run, and he kind of views it as a game, as he doesn't expect you to get away, just showing more of his cruelty and insanity. While running, we also witness Jason taking his first life, as you can see the panic in his hands, but ultimately he has to keep moving on if he wants to survive.
I found him! Shit, oh God.
This is also a great use of storytelling, as it kind of shows that Jason has now already killed someone, so doing it the second time isn't going to be as difficult, so his character seems less unhinged when he starts actually doing the things he does throughout the game. The run through the jungle is chaotic and is a good appetizer of the chaos that you'll be experiencing through Far Cry 3, and the sudden swap from chaos to calm as you hit the water is just great.
Mr. Gale, this is Chet Peterson from the U.S. Embassy here in Patna. I'm calling you pursuant to the application for a tourist visa for India with further travel to Karat. We can only accept your status as a U.S. citizen as we have no official records regarding your Karate citizenship. Furthermore, I must legally advise you against traveling into Karat. We have no official diplomatic presence in Karat due to the civil unrest with the Golden Path. In regards to your intent to bring with you the cremated remains of one Ishwari Gale, you'll need to bring with you the passport for the deceased.
Hey, passport. Breathe. I'll do the talking.
पासपोर्ट जल्दी जल्दी
While on the topic of Far Cry, I might as well keep going with it, as Far Cry 4 has another amazing intro. And with some risks to my safety, I'd have to admit, I love this intro a lot more than Far Cry 3, and possibly more controversially, I loved Pagan Min more than Vars. Now hear me out though before you cast shame. Far Cry 4 takes a much calmer approach than its predecessor. Instead, we start staring out of a bus window looking at the calm snowy mountains of Kirat. While a voicemail gives us exposition explaining that our character is there to drop off his mother's ashes in her home country. We also get told about the conflict within the country with the Golden Path rebelling against the authorities. Within the bus, we get to see how run down and sketchy the trip is, with our guide putting money in our passport to potentially bribe their way through. However, things go less than ideal. We get a small bit of action and chaos, however, it's only for a second. Then we get Pagan's intro.
What's happening?
कहाँ पे आ रहे हैं? पटना बॉस पटना पटना में क्या परवाह है तो बाढ़ में जा लेकिन हमारी रेंज में मैंने कहा आज नहीं कुछ है अभी तक कुछ नहीं कोई बात नहीं बॉस कोई बात नहीं ये लो चुप मिल गया कुछ मिल गया आलो चलो चलो बस से निकलो रुक रुको साले
ever say, stop the bus. Yes, stop the bus. Not shoot the bus. I'm very particular with my words. Stop. Shoot. Stop. Shoot. Do those words sound the same?
But it got out of control.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
It got out of control.
Got out of control. I hate when things get out of control. One fucking job, you couldn't fucking do that! And I got blood on my fucking shells.
Before we talk about how great of an intro that was, I want to quickly go back to the bus for a second. The transition from the snowy mountains to the rundown bus is a great kind of metaphor on how the circumstances are in Kyrat. The country looks beautiful. Far Cry 4 looks amazing. It's got the Himalaya sort of vibe to it. It's great. But when you look deeper into the political system and the way these people live, it's quite poor and impoverished, and that's what happens when you're going through a civil war. It's not a great experience. But you kind of get to see the difference in the beauty and the grime of Kyrat, and it's kind of a great use of an intro kind of showing you the two sides of the coin. Okay, let's talk about Pagan now. Pagan, unlike Vas, is a lot more charismatic and articulate. However, he is also deeply sadistic and unpredictable. He can go from being charming to ruthless in a blink of an eye, which makes him both intriguing and terrifying, as this intro captures this so well. From him not breaking the calm demeanor until he attacks his soldier, and you know this isn't the first time, as the soldier clearly knows what this man is capable of. After his burst of rage, he focuses on the inconvenience of the blood on his shoes, showing what actually really matters to him and what doesn't. Then we go on to the second part.
At least there's a silver lining. You didn't completely fuck it up. Get up, boy. I recognize those eyes anywhere. I'm so sorry about this. This was supposed to be... well, not this. We have a party waiting for you, but I don't think I know your name. Who is this? Is this your +1? Strong, silent type. I like it. I am terribly embarrassed about all of this. This was supposed to be very simple, but you know, if you give food to monkeys, they just throw their shit at each other. You know? Oh, would you hold this? For just a moment, I want to get a little picture right into the camera. There we are. Awesome. Don't worry about a thing, my boy. This will soon be behind us, and we'll be off on our grand adventure. Because I have cleared my calendar for you. You and I are gonna tear shit up!
Should I stay or should I go?
Pagan instantly changes his demeanor, yet still being intimidating, he shows his softer side to our main character, showing that we are someone of importance to him. He instantly becomes friendly, apologizing like he accidentally stepped on RJ's shoes, not that he just traumatized the man. This intro instantly gets you invested in Pagan, and he is honestly what draws you in. And the use of should I stay or should I go just works so well. It also kind of works in the context of the lyrics, as if AJ is deciding if he should have come to Kyrat in the first place. This intro may be less action-packed than Far Cry 3, but for first impressions, it does an amazing job. Now, I don't think the tutorial mission after this is better than Far Cry 3's tutorial. However, it's still an amazing intro and absolutely hooks you into wanting to learn more about this unhinged man who just kind of abducts you from a bus. Moving away from Ubisoft for a bit and first-person shooters, let's talk a little bit about Last of Us. The Last of Us became a massive success in 2013 due to its great story and gameplay mechanics. However, I think one thing that makes this game amazing is its memorable intro. The game starts with a simple single father looking after his daughter. Joel, the father, is obviously stressed with work and is very exhausted while he's talking to his brother Tommy. Yet, even though he's tired, he still cares to put the effort in to make his daughter laugh. Similar to when he makes a joke about his daughter's birthday gift being broken. She also clearly cares for him with her actions of staying up late to make sure her dad gets said gift. And also the fact that she used her own money to pay for this watch repair.
Where did you get the money for this?
Drugs. I sell hardcore drugs.
Oh, good. You started helping out with the mortgage then.
Yeah, you wish.
A little while later, we play as Sarah, Joel's daughter, while she is working up during the night. We then explore the house searching for Joel, but we're unable to find him. We get a lot of exposition during this house tour as well, that isn't just, a voiceover like many other games. You can watch a news report that ends with an explosion, and then you can look out the window to see the explosion from the distance. You can hear the sirens in the distance showing the chaos. You also get to feel that little bit of anxiety of being a helpless kid again, not sure what is happening or what to do. Until you find your father again, getting that little bit of relief thinking that you're safe now, but it doesn't last that long.
I think they're sick.
What kind of sick?
Jimmy!
Dad?
Honey, come here. Jimmy! Jimmy, I am warning you! Don't!
You shot him?
After Joel proceeds to traumatize his daughter, Tommy shows up in the ute and they get out of there. Then we have the car trip. The trip out of the city does a great example of showing the chaos, and it also shows you the type of person Joel is when he refuses to help people on the side of the road. It gives a hint of the cruelty that Joel is capable of to protect the ones that he cares about.
What do you think you're doing? Keep driving. Hey, Joe, so do we.
But we have room.
Keep driving, Tommy.
Stop!
You see what I see. Someone else will come along.
We then make it into town and get to see all the chaos that is unfolding. Then, amongst the chaos and the fleeing people, we get sideswiped, and this is where the transition to Joel's point of view occurs. We are no longer the helpless kid, but just a helpless adult. We can only run and carry his daughter as she is injured. The whole time while running, we see him comforting his daughter through the chaos, nearly being bitten a few times along the way. Then, the intro ends with one of the saddest endings to any video game intro, in my opinion.
Somebody, we've just been through hell. Okay, we just need... Shit. Please don't. Oh, no. Sarah. Move your hands, baby. I know, baby, I know. Listen to me. I know this hurts, baby. You're gonna be okay, baby. Stay with me. All right, I'm gonna pick you up. I know, baby. I know it hurts. Come on, baby. Please. I know, baby. I know. Sarah. Baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Come on. No, please. Please.
This whole sequence ending with his daughter getting shot in front of him, and all he can do is try and comfort her. This scene is a kick in the teeth when you first experience it, and even after rewatching it, it still hits hard. This intro does a great job of getting across the action and the darkness players will be experiencing throughout the story. It also gives you good context on why Joel is the way he is throughout the story, as that softer, caring side ultimately died with his daughter's death.
They told me, son, you're special. You were born to do great things. You know what? They were right.
Oh, Bioshock, the psychological horror thriller that's whole story is about how fragile the human mind is and the consequences of unchecked ambition. Bioshock is a beloved game for many reasons. A lot of people will mention the plot twist at the end, but the intro isn't nothing to blink at either. The game starts with a plane crash and the player must swim out of the water while the fuel is catching alight around them. Then you see a beacon of potential hope, or at the very least somewhere dry, and once you enter this sort of lighthouse sort of thing, you instantly get an uneasy feeling with the No God or King's banner with the early 1960s music playing in the background. This vibe kind of intensifies as our character decides, why not, let's hop in this really old and weird looking chamber. Then we slowly descend into the abyss where an ad plays, making fun of a bunch of political beliefs, and then we get the reveal of Rapture.
I am Andrew Ryan, and I'm here to ask you a question. Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow? No, says the man in Washington, it belongs to the poor. No, says the man in the Vatican, it belongs to God. No, says the man in Moscow, it belongs to everyone. I rejected those answers. Instead, I chose something different. I chose the impossible. I chose rapture. A city where the artist would not fear the censor, where the scientist would not be bound by petty morality, where the great would not be constrained by the small.
I mean, the audio in the background gives off some hints on kind of what you can expect, as there's a statement that is made that scientists do not need to worry about morality, and it's a great hint that they can do whatever they want or feel like in a place like this. While descending, we get to see how large this underwater city is, and it is quite beautiful from the outside. I mean, the LED signs, it definitely kind of gives off a strong semi-futuristic past and future. You get to hear the chaos over the radio of people talking about a plane crash happening on the surface and so on. And then we leave the beauty of Rapture.
Johnny's security's banging off all over. Get a move on!
Please, lady. I didn't mean no trespass. Just don't hurt me. Just let me go. You my cut.
Is it someone new?
The moment you arrive to Rapture, the beauty is instantly gone. Instead, we get shown the dark, rundown horrors that this world has to offer, and what the inhabitants are living in. We get to see how unhinged these people also are, with them attacking one another and kind of not knowing what to do. The fact that you're also underwater kind of makes you feel more trapped, as there is really no escape. As an intro, it instantly hooks you into the mystery that this world has to offer.
It was a different time. A different enemy. 60 men from Tier 1 teams were sent to face down a force of 500 enemy fighters. Their objective? To force the enemy back from a civilian hospital and keep its occupants alive. For 3 days they held their ground, but the enemy's numbers were too great. The 60 were cut down to 15. They wouldn't last another night, and the enemy knew it. Under the cover of darkness, they evacuated the hospital, sending only one of their own to lead the way. The rest returned to the line and took up positions beneath the bodies of their fallen brothers. As they lay in wait, the blood from the dead poured over them. The sand stuck to their skin like a shroud, changing them, anointing them. When the enemy drew near, the remaining 14 rose out of the desert sand. They were like hunters that couldn't be seen, using stealth their enemies couldn't defend against. When the men ran dry of ammunition, they used their blades. And when the blades ran dull, they used their hands. When the dust and sand had settled, only one of the enemy had survived. He was picked up in the desert, wandering aimlessly, traumatized. He expressed warnings to others of a force so menacing and unbeatable, it could only be described as supernatural. He called them ghosts.
Call of Duty. There's a lot of intros to the Call of Duty franchise, as it has a lot of games. However, there's always been one intro that has always stuck with me, and that has been one of the most controversial CODs there was, Call of Duty Ghosts. Now hear me out, no matter how you feel about Ghosts as a whole, you cannot deny how solid of an intro this game had. The first thing that is noticeable is the art style. The black and white style representing each side of the conflict, and the exposition builds your anticipation. The transition from the solid white soldiers turning into ghosts after their ashes stick to their skin is iconic. Then after this great intro, we get a transition to a family chilling in the forest. We then go from a calm nature walk to complete chaos as there's explosions and the world around our characters starts falling apart. Then we get a 15 minutes earlier transition and we get the first ever Call of Duty mission set in space. It was the first time we had ever had any space combat, and it was something new and was definitely engaging. It was definitely a tutorial for the later swimming missions, but it was still great. We play as characters working through a space station that is being overrun by enemies as we watch people just get shot from everywhere. Then the space station explodes as they're trying to destroy the station to stop the attack that's being done from said space station, as it's shooting, basically I believe it was railgun or like heavy bits of metal from space onto Earth that are causing explosions. After the space station explodes, there's still not enough that can be done to stop the thing, so our two characters then work their way to the weapon. They then blow it up, sacrificing themselves in the process. The dialogue between each other is also quite emotional. It's enough to kind of hook you as you know that these guys are now sacrificing themselves. Then we have the cut back to our guys on the ground and we get to witness all the chaos occurring, showing the mayhem that is in store for our characters. The ground falling apart, the buildings falling to pieces, it all kind of just gives you this end of the world vibe. And then after our characters manage to somewhat get out of the situation and into the back of the truck, you watch as pieces of satellite and whatnot hit the earth around them. It's just one hell of an intro. This arguably could be seen as jumping the shark for a lot of people in the Call of Duty franchise, but it's the most memorable Call of Duty intro for said reason, if that's the case. Don't get me wrong, there are many other intros that are notable in Call of Duty, however not many pop like Call of Duty Ghosts does.
What's going on? That's my blood. That's my blood. It's a lot of my blood.
Uncharted is a well-known franchise and is one of Sony's biggest properties, but in the late 2000s they had to fulfill players' expectations for the sequel. As any game can be a one-hit wonder, a sequel is ultimately what will set the pace for the series going on, and Uncharted 2 doesn't hesitate with first impressions. We open with a quote from Marco Polo, a man who was famous for his travels throughout Asia, more notably through the Silk Road. The quote, "I did not tell half of what I saw, for I knew no one would believe," which embodies the spirit of the Uncharted franchise quite a lot, and not just for the Marco Polo sections in the pool.
Hey, check it out. Marco.
Really?
Come on.
No.
Marco.
Hello.
Fish out of water.
You are so...
After this clip, we see Nathan clearly injured on a train in a snowy region. It instantly makes us wonder what Nathan has gotten himself into, especially because he isn't doing too well, as he notably remarks. Then it's revealed that he isn't just sitting on a train, he's sitting on a train hanging off a cliff. He nearly falls to his death, and during that process, he starts to laugh at the situation, showing the type of character he truly is. Then we go into the tutorial mission, teaching players on how to climb and traverse the world. We then get a flashback giving us a little bit of exposition on how Nathan might have gotten himself into this situation. We meet 3 main characters and we get a valuable exposition on what Nathan is looking for. Then we do this a couple of times, flickering between exposition and slowly watching Nathan struggle to work his way out of the wreckage. This intro does a great job of getting you interested and wanting to find out more on what's to come. It has the humor that Nathan is known for, it has the mystery that all Uncharted games are about trying to solve. It's got some of the action that is installed throughout the game. It does a great job of just kind of hooking you in and wanting to know how a character got into this situation. Okay, so I thought that we started with Ubisoft, so we might as well end with another Ubisoft entry, and a personal favorite of mine. Assassin's Creed Revelations. I'm just going to talk about the cinematic, but it's a masterpiece and one impressive intro. This intro scene was heavily anticipated at the time and was also important as it would be the final chapter of Ezio's story from the previous 2 games. And man, they did not disappoint. We start with Ezio being dragged through the castle with many guards around, and then it's revealed that we're in the Holy Land, the same place the first game took place in, and where Ezio's ancestor Altair spent his time. We then get to see the distance in the lands that Ezio has traveled. Finally he gets to his location, he gets an arrow to the shoulder, and then proceeds to fight wave after wave of Templars, and he just demolishes them until there's so many that he can't fight anymore. He also sees premonitions of Altair around. We then transition to the present, as we watch him getting walked to the edge of the castle to be hanged. While we get a voiceover to his letter to his sister, and it's just great.
Should anything happen to me, Claudia, should my skills fail me, or my ambition lead me astray, do not seek retribution or revenge in my memory, but fight to continue the search for truth, so that all may benefit. My story is one of many thousands, and the world will not suffer if it ends too soon.
The lines he gives are just so calm and accepting, showing that he is no longer the young, immature man he once was. He is now wise and a lot older, as we can see it in his face. The musical score elevates the scene to a whole nother level, and it's made clear that we are watching his final story, and that although it's ending, it does not matter, and not to focus on revenge. However, although that his story is coming to an end, it hasn't. Not just yet. His skills are still as sharp as always. Hi, this is Cameron Jack. This is the outro part to this video. I just wanted to say I hope you enjoyed. If you disagree with any of these, let me know. Tell me what do you reckon should have been on this list. What was your personal favorite intro to video games? I know there's so many games out there with so many great intros, so these are just some of my personal favorites and some that I know that a lot of people talk about. So I might make another video in the future. Let me know what you guys prefer, like what was your favorite intro to a video game. And I might do a video in the future reviewing or watching your video game intros and kind of giving my opinion on it. And yeah, besides that, as always, stay safe, live life to the fullest, and peace.